Welcome to the Basic AF podcast. I'm Brendan Marcello. Basic AF, Basic as Football, a college football podcast. Before we get going, a quick clip for everybody.
Ryan J., you deserve it, brother. Thank you. Thank you. It's okay. It's okay.
Oh no.
I'm so sorry.
Howard.
Everybody okay? Everybody okay? Good?
Okay, so that happened. Ohio State won the national championship, and that was the scene afterward. They were taking Ryan Day, the head coach for Ohio State, and quarterback Will Howard, and also I believe Cody Simon, one of their defensive players, their MVPs, to the post-game press conference. Now, I was standing behind that. I got video of after the fact because I didn't want to start shooting video until I knew they were okay. And also, there was an older lady you didn't see sitting on the back, and I was worried about her, but everything was okay, apparently. A little behind the scenes for you. So she hit that wall so hard.
The old lady?
No. The driver.
Oh, okay.
The lady.
Okay.
The lady driving the cart.
Okay.
All right. She was driving it, and she hit that wall so hard. It bent the wheel completely underneath the golf cart, the right wheel that hit the wall. And I went back around and looked at it. She broke the steering rod off. It broke off. That's how hard the hit was. They couldn't even drive it if they wanted to. One, the tire was broken off, and the steering rod was broken.
I was about to say, could those guys not just kind of like
No,
pick it up and shift it a little bit?
They had to pick up the cart and move it, and then try to fix it.
Wow.
And then I ran off to go do more post game stuff. But it was a wild scene in Atlanta. Ohio State won the national championship.
Who was the coach that ate sad pizza on a golf cart?
Ohio State coach Ryan Day.
That was him?
I'm glad you brought that up. There's something about golf carts and Ohio State coaches.
I thought it was Ohio State, but I thought it might have been Urban Meyer, honestly.
Yeah, Urban Meyer on Ohio State. He was the head coach at Ohio State before Ryan Day.
You just said it was Ryan Day, though.
Oh, excuse me. That was Ryan Day.
Yes.
The previous
The
coach
sad
eating the pizza was Urban Meyer.
Okay, so sad pizza, Urban Meyer, violent crash, Ryan Day. Yikes.
Yeah. And
Maybe they should pick different transportation.
maybe
Like
so.
a horse-drawn buggy, perhaps?
Yeah, and I was on the field when that golf cart was coming through, and it got stuck in like foot traffic in the tunnel because there's a lot of people there. And she zoomed by real fast, and I was like out of the way. I got video of that, her coming by, because I was like, oh, there's Ryan Day and everybody.
Yeah.
Just to see how they were celebrating. And
Yikes.
yeah, it was wild.
But they're all okay?
Apparently they're all okay.
Old lady on the back?
Old lady, I believe, was okay from what I
Okay.
saw. She got off
Whew.
okay and stepped off, and everything was okay. But it was.
I
it
feel
was fun.
bad for the driver, too. She's got to feel bad.
Yeah, I mean, she certainly did. Did you hear it? She was kind of freaked out a little bit.
Yeah. Poor girl.
Yeah,
Poor
poor
lady.
girl. Poor lady. Yeah, don't say girl.
Girl.
You'll get canceled.
Sorry.
Poor lady.
Won't be the first time, won't be the last.
That's true. So yeah, that happened, and Ryan Day looked a little irked when it happened. He was like, "What the heck?" Now, could you have imagined if they had lost that game and then that happened?
Oh, my
The
goodness.
bad memes that would have came out of
Oh.
that, considering the history with Ohio State coaches, with Urban Meyer eating the
Sad pizza. Yeah.
Papa John's,
Yeah.
juicy. No one's
No,
ever called
don't-
pizza juicy.
Don't do that.
I won't say that
That's
again.
not good.
All right, so I was in Atlanta for that. My first national championship in 11 years. It was a hell of a lot of fun. Very tiring. Not a lot of sleep, but man, I had fun going down Atlanta covering a national championship game. You forget just how big big of a spectacle it is. You see celebrities. I saw Joe Montana.
Was he wearing a fur coat? Was that
no.
Joe Montana that did that?
That
The
was
big fur
Joe Broadway, Broadway Joe, as they say.
Same guy, different guy.
No, different guy.
Okay.
So, and also saw Travis Scott.
Okay. Didn't he perform or
Yeah,
something?
but it was a video. They acted like it was live, but he was
Oh.
on the stadium, top of the stadium. They obviously recorded earlier.
Okay.
'Cause it was deadly cold
Cold,
that night.
yeah.
There's no way that was live. But
Yeah.
he was on the sideline before the game, walking around. A lot of Ohio State royalty there, a lot of Notre Dame royalty there. I talked to Jim Tressel, who helped me out with an article earlier in the week, and he was so happy to see me.
Was he wearing a sweater vest?
No, he wasn't. And I was so like kind of geeked out because he was excited to see me. I was like,
Really?
Jim Tressel's excited to see me. He's like, man, I love that article. And his wife was right there, and his wife goes, is that the article you're reading out loud to me this morning? And I was like, whoa, Jim Tressel not only read it, he read it to his wife out loud.
Wow.
But that article, by the way, is about Notre Dame coach Marcus Freeman, former Ohio State player himself.
Yeah.
Who played under Jim Tressel at Ohio State previously, and his friendship with James Laurinaitis, who is an assistant coach for Ohio State that ended up winning the national championship. They're best buds, and it was interesting going back to seeing what they were like, kind of growing up together and developing, and now they're both coaches. But that's what I love about championship environments, because one, the media days, you get more access to these players and coaches and everything, and you get to tell some bigger stories.
Yeah.
So it was a great trip. Was down there for what, 4 days, something like that. Atlanta. Yeah, I did. I mean, I didn't get a lot of sleep those nights. Because it's also like a convention for reporters. You get to see people you haven't seen in a bit.
Yeah.
And you get to hang out at night, and you get to trade like war stories about the stories you did, and like you can't wait to read them the next morning and all that stuff. So it's kind of nerding out that way. And then we had that massive snowstorm going through the South, as everybody knows, and everybody in Atlanta was freaked out because we're like, are we going to be able to get out of Atlanta Tuesday morning? Because that's when it was supposed to hit.
Yeah.
And boy, the snow barely missed Atlanta, though it started snowing. Everybody had travel, just nightmares. Mine was not a nightmare, more or less just like a hiccup. But
It was kind of nightmarish.
yeah, I guess, but I was lucky. I only had to stand in TSA pre-check for an hour, that line. And then I got on the airplane, and we started backing up when it started snowing, and I was like, oh, no. And I was sitting there with a couple of Arkansas friends who were flying back, too, who were in the media, and we sat on the runway for 3 hours. They de-iced our plane, and then about 30 minutes later, they said, they de-iced the plane incorrectly. Atlanta's not really accustomed to de-icing planes, so we have to get back in line to be de-iced. So we got back in line, got de-iced. Long story short, 3 hours on the runway. They had the heater or something turned on. I don't know. They couldn't turn it off. And so it was hot on there. So it's like real cold outside, but it's cold or hot inside.
Yeah.
I was sweating.
Okay.
Everybody was sweating.
But did they give you a lot of Biscoff cookies?
They gave us some snacks once and water.
Yeah, that's nice.
I think they were trying to keep people seated.
Yeah.
They were getting upset. Some people were getting up to go to the bathroom. So they're like, everybody's got to stay seated, otherwise we can't take off. But at one point, they finally relented. And they're like, hey, my bladder's going to explode. We're about to have an international incident here. But yeah, finally got home. Plane ride was weird. You said you were tracking me, and we never got above 20,000 feet. I don't know what was going on there. And
it was low.
It was a little bit longer than I'm accustomed to.
The speed was slow, too. It was like 350 miles an hour or something.
Maybe they weren't trying to burn fuel. I don't know. But anyway, I got home. But a lot of other people had traveled nightmares. And apparently, a friend was telling me the reason why the TCA lines in Atlanta were so long.
TSA.
What did I say?
TCA.
What is wrong with me?
I don't know.
We're so long is because Atlanta Public Schools closed for the day. And so the employees had to stay home with their kids, so they didn't have all their employees come in.
Oh, because of the snow forecast?
Because of the snow forecast.
Oh.
And so the employees came in. They didn't have all their employees, so they had to make some cuts. They had ropes everywhere, closing certain things off. Certain doors were even closed off. So some people had to stand in line for like 2-3 hours before even getting to the terminals. I only had to be for an hour, thankfully. Anyway, everybody got home. I hope. Incredible snow. I mean, New Orleans got like a foot or something like that. People playing snowball fights in the French Quarter.
Well, and people running through the snow to get to the beach. Did you see people like running through the snow in Panama City to get into the water?
No.
Like doing polar plunge
plunges?
stuff. Yeah. Through the snow on the beach to get into the water.
That's crazy.
In Panama City.
I don't think I'd ever do that.
Did you see the picture of the snow in Pensacola Beach with like the water tower in the background with the
with a beach ball?
Yeah.
No, everything you've sent me I haven't looked at yet.
Cool. I don't think I actually sent that one to you.
So you've sent me something. I haven't been able to look at them yet.
Yeah.
I very much just tried to sleep off and on when I got back.
But you did see the airboat on the snow.
The airboat on the snow is fantastic, and I appreciate the person whoever got that together and put Freebird in the background.
It's great.
That's great.
Well done.
I think I
good stuff.
retweeted it, and I just said, "Hell yeah!" Said everybody underneath their breath when seeing this clip.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so the national championship game, it looked like it was just going to be a complete blowout. Early in the third quarter, second play of the third quarter, Keyshawn Judkins runs 70 yards, sets up a touchdown, and all of a sudden, Ohio State's up 31-7. Everybody's up there just going, well, another blowout in the national championship game. Every national championship game in the BCS CFP era has been decided by an average of over 20 points. They've been all blowouts practically. We've had some close ones and some thrillers, but it's been a while.
When was that one that was Alabama LSU, and it was like, was it the one that was like 9-6?
Yeah, we've had that back in the low scoring days.
Yeah, that one sticks out because we were just like, oh man.
Yeah, so this one was entertaining after the Ohio State got up 31-7. The game started off great, in my opinion, because we actually saw, goodness gracious, Notre Dame marched down the field on the very first drive.
Yeah.
18 plays, right? 18 plays.
Longest
drive. You got it.
Yeah.
What was it?
Longest in college football history.
Football playoff.
Playoff history. Yeah, sorry.
18 plays, lasted nearly 10 minutes, ran it down Ohio State's throat. Riley Leonard, the quarterback, ran it 9 times. He'd only run it 18 times at most in an entire game. Ran it 9 times on one drive. And then what's he do after they score a touchdown? Runs to the sideline and pukes.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
Not necessarily because he was worn out, because he said he fell on the ball awkwardly a couple times and it messed his insides up.
Yeah, ouch.
But he didn't look the same the rest of the first half. I even asked their offensive coordinator, Mike Denbrock, "Do you guys give him fluids or anything?" And, everybody was down after that game. Notre Dame locker room. He's like, "I don't know. You'd have to ask a trainer or doctors. I don't know. I don't think so. I think he just, But he came back on fire midway through the third quarter. Man, Notre Dame, they've had fight all year in them, man. They just battle their asses off. They got back within a touchdown, got sparked by finally getting a turnover. That's how Notre Dame's won games. They get turnovers. They always win the turnover margin.
Breaks.
They won the turnover margin in this, but only by 1. What they needed was a turnover in the first half to break up Ohio State's streak.
Yeah.
Because Ohio State scored on 4 straight on 4 straight possessions in the first half. First time ever in a college football playoff championship game. But it looked like it was going to be a blowout. If Notre Dame just had one more turnover, I think they may have actually won that game. Because they get sparked up by doing that. And they win the middle 8, the last 4 minutes of the first half, and the first 4 minutes of the second half in practically every game. That's how they were in games in the playoff. Did not happen. Ohio State owned the middle 8. But Notre Dame still found a way to get back in.
That third quarter, really, they looked good in the third quarter, I thought.
Late in the third quarter?
Yeah.
They kind of figured some things out.
Yep.
I thought Notre Dame and their offensive defense were schematically well prepared. I just think that Ohio State had more talent.
Yeah.
And that was what ended up winning it in the day. They just needed some turnovers, and they didn't quite get them.
Yep.
So when you watched the game, what were some of your takeaways from it?
Well, like you said, when Notre Dame scored that first possession, I was like, oh, okay, this is going a little bit differently than everybody kind of thought. In fact, if you want to break down our, what's the phrase? I'm drawing a blank. The prop bets.
Yeah,
I went back and re-listened.
Oh, yeah?
I wrote down our prop bets if you want to do a breakdown.
Sure. Hey, let's do that. Yeah, we did prop bets.
So,
and I actually am interested in hear this. I don't think I did very well, but go ahead.
Neither
Don't ruin it.
Okay.
Go through it.
Okay.
Don't give it away.
Okay. Well, I actually picked the first scoring play.
Mm-hmm.
I picked Ohio State was going to have the first scoring play. Wrong. Let's see. What else? Where do we want to go next? You said that Ohio State, Will Howard was going to have 100+ throwing yards in each half.
He did not.
He did not. My records show 144 in the first half and 87 in the second half.
Dang.
I think.
You sure about that?
I'm not.
You sure
I'm
about
not real
that?
sure about that.
All right, go ahead.
I found an article where it said 144 in the first half, and then I found his total yards.
Okay.
I'm not sure where to look.
You're probably right there. Yeah, go
on
ahead.
the interwebs.
Go ahead.
I had total number of touchdowns. The over/under set for that was 5.5 for total number of touchdowns. I took the under. I was wrong on that.
Yep, wrong.
Okay, I'm going to mark these off as we go through so I don't repeat myself. You said that for Notre Dame that Love would have 2+ touchdowns. No. He had
nowhere close.
0 touchdowns.
He's had a knee injury.
Yeah.
They kept kind of saying, yeah, he's healthier and healthier. He came out in warm-ups, wasn't wearing a knee brace. And everybody's like, oh, that boy's 100%. We're ready to go. Notre Dame's full health. And then he came out of the locker room when the game started with a knee brace. He didn't touch the ball very much,
Yeah.
and it was obvious that he was slowed.
I said that there'd be at least one field goal by anybody in each quarter.
Yeah, that's a very difficult.
I know
bet
that
to
was
make.
hard. That was going to be bad or
Yeah.
difficult to achieve, but
No.
I thought it was interesting, so I went with it.
Sure.
Wrong. You said that Love would rush. Wait, no. Yeah, that Love would rush for 70-plus yards.
Yeah, that didn't
That
happen.
didn't happen.
The other thing is about these are like, we look these prop bets up because of the potential return on investment. A lot of these are like plus 800 and things like that. So it isn't
Yeah.
like I believed or you believed that this would
Yeah.
actually happen. It was
Well,
like,
and you
these
just
are
said-
advantageous to make some money.
And I'd never looked at prop bets, so I was
Right.
just picking out weird stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't know how it worked.
I've never bet on prop bets either, so I don't know.
You did have one.
Oh, I did?
Yeah. Riley Leonard scoring in the third quarter. Yeah, that was plus 750.
Plus 750. So you
Yeah.
know what? If I bet $100 and we did how many prop bets a piece? Like 4?
Yeah.
I would have won money. I would have came out in the positive.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I bet on that. I didn't bet on it, but I picked that because Riley Leonard has scored his most touchdowns in the third quarter this year, based off what I was looking at, I believe,
I
and
think
especially
that's what
here
you
recently.
Said. Yeah, I think that's
So
what you
I
said.
like that. I also like that. I said Notre Dame was a good middle eight team, and I
Yep.
thought, hey, he'd score maybe early in the third quarter.
Yep.
But it ended up happening late in the third quarter, but still happened.
Yeah, so you got that one. You said Notre Dame would cover the spread, which is not a prop, but
So close.
so close.
So close.
So
Ohio State
close.
kicked a field goal there late to make an 11-point win. Otherwise, it would have been an 8-point win, and that would have covered the spread. Eesh.
Oh, I said Ohio State would cover.
And so you
that's,
got that.
That's the only thing that I got.
Okay.
Yeah, I also took the under
Okay.
overall.
So
I,
we probably, if we put our money together, we probably would have about broke even, I guess, because I
Maybe.
bet on that one that was plus 750, and I got it. And then
Yeah.
you played like $400, 500. Yeah, we maybe came out on the positive, actually. Like
hey,
100,
Nux.
200
not
bucks
bad.
or something like that. You know, people tell me, like, we do these picks, on CBS Sports every game, practically every week, top 25 games and interesting games. I would have made a lot of money if I actually put money on that.
Yeah.
I should do that, but it's ethically
Yeah.
not a good thing to do.
Is that a
as
gray
journalist.
area or is that just like
It's a-
absolute?
I don't know. To me, it's black and white. I'm not touching it.
Then there you
I'm
go.
not
Don't
putting
do it.
myself in that situation.
Then don't do it.
potentially. Was there anything when you were watching that game that you thought Notre Dame could do differently? No.
Redo the first quarter, maybe.
Yeah,
I mean, because I was like, yeah, okay, this is going to be a close, tight game with that first drive, and then
I thought they maybe could have mixed some things up defensively.
yeah,
I thought they played a lot more man in the second half, which worked at times. But they brought that one big pass play to Jeremiah Smith to kind of ice the game for Ohio State.
Mhm.
They blitzed and they put guys on island, and it and we'll tit on this a little bit. The cornerback for Notre Dame who got quote unquote beat on that play, which he had no one there to help him. He also was on a play where he directly identified something crazy was happening on the very first touchdown play. I saw it in the box, and I turned to my colleagues. He was sitting there before the snap, pointing at a guy like something crazy's happening. I've seen this. They're doing something, and it was a fake orbit motion where Jeremiah Smith was lined up, motioned to the backfield like he's going to take a ball and go the other way, and then he stopped right in the backfield as he was motioning, and then ran back out uncovered and caught the pass. And he was pointing like something's happening here, something's crazy happening, and he didn't have someone there to help him. They needed two guys on that side of the field, and they didn't have it.
It's fascinating to me and so just crazy that they can figure that out on the go. Like
Listen,
I know it's their
they
job.
watch
It's
so
their
much
job.
freaking film.
I know.
And the coaches do too.
I know.
I've been behind the scenes before 2 games with programs before, and it's if you guys knew like how much work they put into
Yeah.
this stuff and like how they know every little thing.
Well, and that's why those guys are in that level of a game. Like that's why they're in the playoff or in the championship too, because they're seeing those things.
You're behind the scenes, and like I remember being behind the scenes, and there being 3 or 4 plays. A coach was telling me like one of these or 2 of them are going to hit big. Not all of them, but 1 or 2. And sure enough, 2 of them hit big. And then defensively, they're identifying things, and it's crazy being able to watch the game on the sideline after you see all the film of the opposing team and all that, and you watch it, and you got such a much better understanding of what's happening. You're like, holy crap, they're running exactly what they thought, which is insane also to think because every week they're doing new things, but it's all based off the same looks. So they're trying to get you to bite on a look you've seen on film, and they do something different, and that's what Ohio State did on that play. because Al Golden, the defensive coordinator for Notre Dame, told me after the game, I've seen that on film, but not with that fake orbit motion where he got Jeremiah Smith came in the backfield, stopped, and went back out, came open. It's also a play that if you guys follow college football a lot, that Steve Sarkisian, when he was the offensive coordinator at Alabama, ran, I believe, against Ohio State or someone else previously. So it's crazy how the world works. But yeah, it was a great game. Great game.
Yeah.
And we'll get into what happened after the games. I had to go. I didn't like having to do that just as a human being. But hey, put those cans on, sweetheart.
Oh.
Put your cans on.
Ryan J, you deserve it, brother. Thank you. Thank you.
Poor girl. Oh,
Woman.
man.
Lady. She's a
Poor
lady.
person. Okay, so after the game, Ohio State fans went to the Shoe, their stadium,
Oh.
and tried to break in.
Wait, what?
They got in. And they planted a flag.
Oh,
All right,
okay.
so I'll say this.
It's a passionate fan base.
Yeah, passionate fan base, but also they didn't break the gate down. It looks like they did. People making it sound like they did, but apparently the police that were there said, open the gates up and just let them go do their thing as a crowd control measure. Like they're they're lubed up, as they say. They're probably drinking a little bit. Let them go in there and have some fun or whatever. And then by a little bit after midnight, the kids just start filtering out. And they're like, all right, we're
they're
bored.
done.
Let's
Yeah.
go party.
Yeah.
But, it's a college town. They were on the streets. I saw some couches were
I was
burning.
about to say, is it like West Virginia burning couches?
Yeah, but, everybody does that. They burn stuff.
Yeah.
People up in the trees, cheering and everything, all having a good time. Hopefully nobody got hurt and they just had fun. But I thought that was pretty smart on the police officer's part. Like, just open the gates, let them go
you
in.
can either try to keep them out and cause damage and injuries,
Yeah.
or you can let them in, let them burn off the energy.
Yes. And they're just
Let
excited.
the kids be kids. They're celebrating.
There's no
let them
violence,
have fun.
anything
Yeah,
like
let them
that.
have fun.
So I thought that was cool.
Let them have fun.
It's always good to have fun. So yeah, that was the good part of it all, right?
Yay.
Well, I had to go cover the losing locker room,
No.
and it wasn't fun. But it's
Are we
the
putting them
job.
back on?
Yeah, put them back
Oh,
on.
no, I don't want to watch
We were
this.
back there. So I was standing back there waiting for the locker room to open up. Marcus Freeman came out behind this big barricade where you can't really see him, but I had a little glimpse, right? And the trophy ceremony was going on the field. You could hear it. And there was a TV off to the side.
I see this. This is sad.
This went viral, as the kids say. Marcus Freeman sitting there with his hand on his chin, watching Ohio State get the national championship trophy on a TV in the back. Intently focused on it, not breaking his gaze at all, just really, really focused on it. Like, just. And, I've had a lot of people, they were tweeting about this and everything, about how I guess other athletes have been caught doing this. I only really follow college football and because it's my job and I don't watch NBA or anything like that. So I guess that's why it went viral, because there's some things that people stand there, watching on the field, watching trophy ceremonies, so they can absorb the pain and use it as motivation.
Ouch.
And certainly I'm sure he was just interested because one, he was just in that position. He was before he went to his press conference, and he's being held there. And what else was he going to do? Turn his back? And it's his alma mater.
I was going to say, it's his alma mater on some level. He's got to be
Yeah.
happy and proud, right? I mean,
Can you imagine the emotions that are going through
right.
Marcus?
One
Freeman?
is his friends on the
Yeah.
staff.
James Laurinaitis is his friend. He's on the staff. And he's got other friends on that staff too,
Yeah.
I'm sure. And he's got an Ohio State Letterman jacket somewhere, and I'm sure a lot of pictures and all that stuff from his time there. But
happy memories there. You can't just shut that off, I bet. I mean, I don't know. I never played in college. I don't know.
Do you think that's like seeing pictures of your ex be happy?
It depends on how the breakup went, I guess.
Yeah. Well, it was an amicable breakup. It was a good breakup.
Well, then I hope he's happy for him.
They might get together again.
Well, you never know. It's silly season.
That's what they say. One of his teammates, AJ Hawk, told me, he goes, hey, maybe in 20 years, Marcus Freeman's the head coach here again. Marcus
Wait,
Freeman's only
AJ
39.
Hawk?
Yeah, AJ Hawk. Talk to AJ Hawk.
Nice.
Yeah. You know AJ Hawk?
Wasn't he on the Packers?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Hello?
You know AJ Hawk.
Hello?
Yeah,
Duh.
Amanda's a card-carrying Packers fan. Owns stock and everything.
Owner. Hello.
Yeah, co-owner of
Hello.
the Packers, as they say.
It's been a long time since I paid attention to that too, though.
Yeah.
Kind of fell off. Had a baby and fell off the wagon of
The
sports
Packers wagon?
fandom. Well, just sports fandom. I got busy, stopped sleeping,
Yeah.
never got back into it.
Yeah, well. What else
It was
you do?
how many years ago this weekend that we went and
8
watched
years
them
ago. I
in
saw
Atlanta?
that memory pop
Ugh,
up. We went
that
to
was
Atlanta.
awful. Talk about Atlanta.
We
Woo.
went to Atlanta and watched the Packers
That
get
was
blown out by the Falcons in
That
the
was
playoff
the
game.
last game in that state. wasn't
That's
it?
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. We went to the last sporting event in the Georgia Dome.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
and we got cussed out on our way out.
Yeah, we were wearing Packers gear.
You took your sweatshirt off, and I didn't have
Yeah.
anything on under mine, and I was just like getting berated
I
on
was
the way out.
smart.
Yeah, you didn't warn me. I was like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah, I was smart. I did not want to get berated. I get enough of that anyway.
yeah, I
Um,
did not know. I was not prepared. First
yeah.
NFL game.
So after the game, Notre Dame loses. You know, we're talking about assignments and everything. And I just said, hey, I'll go do Notre Dame. I've covered them already in the Sugar Bowl. I'm pretty familiar with them. I'll go cover them. So I went to the losers' locker room, which meant no going to the field to see the celebration or final plays or anything. I just went in the tunnel and went over there, waited for Notre Dame to come down. And, you know, it was pretty somber. It was pretty bad. I was in the locker room. There was an incident of some sort where some players got upset. It didn't happen to me, but I was down the way. And I just heard some expletives flying through the air. And I kind of turned around and I had some other players like looking at me like, what are you looking around for? What's going on? And I was like, oh, no. So I just asked a couple more questions. One of the players talked to Jaden Greathouse, who was great, by the way,
Yeah.
and went off and go talk to other players. But apparently that like blew up on social media. My whole thing on that is, if you care, because I was in there,
Yeah.
I don't think it's a big deal because I've been in worse locker rooms after losses. Also, it's like for a lot of these kids, it is the worst moment of their life at this point.
Absolutely,
And
yeah.
They haven't had a lot. I mean, they had life experiences, but not a lot of them yet. And that's probably the worst moment of their lives, especially for a player, you know, who like gets attention on them a lot for like, well, you were on this play where they gave up this touchdown. You also gave up this and all that. And then there's a reporter in their face asking questions.
Well, and again,
Emotion and coaches and everybody, they want to protect their kids. And so you have to realize that as a reporter, you go into these situations knowing it's probably going to be volatile and you are literally going in with their wounds open. You're also going into the sanctity of their locker room where reporters don't go until the playoffs. It's never open until the playoffs.
oh really?
Yeah, you go in there.
I don't think I knew that.
Yeah, they're not open anymore until they're in the playoffs. So you're going in there after the biggest game of their lives. A lot of them are naked or half naked, so they're like, what
Vulnerable.
the heck?
Yeah, they're
vulnerable. They're
vulnerable.
like, who the heck are these like goofs walking around in here with microphones?
Yeah.
And so yeah, you got to be like cognizant of your surroundings as a reporter, and you got to be kind of delicate with it. I handle it that way. I even preface a lot of questions. Goes, man, I'm so sorry, and I tell them, I go, hey, you know, I remember you 2 games ago doing this, and you know, I appreciate what you do and all that. Let me talk to you. And I had some players just turn me down, say, hey, I don't want to answer questions, and they were very respectful.
Yeah.
So I don't know what else really happened in that locker room, but I'll say this: even if someone threw a chair or something like that, or did something crazy, you kind of got to have the thicker skin as a reporter because
You just got to duck, dodge, dip, dive, dodge.
because it's just like, who are you to like actually know what they're going through mentally at
Right.
that moment? So
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd want to have a microphone in my face either. If someone's like, hey, Brandon,
I wouldn't.
you just, yeah, I mean, I don't know. So anyway, I didn't think it was a big deal. But others did for whatever
Well,
reason.
Also, I mean, okay. I know this is probably going to be controversial. Maybe. Are they kids? No. Legally, no. They're adults.
Mhm.
They're young, though.
Young.
They're young. They're on a big stage. They're young. They
A
don't.
lot of pressure.
A lot of pressure. More pressure than most young adults their age. It's hard to navigate that age of life not on a big stage.
Mhm.
I made a lot of dumb mistakes when I was that age, and I didn't
Yes, you
have
did.
Wow. And I didn't have cameras in my face. I mean, my friends, you know, cannon point and shoots at the bar, but that didn't end up on national news, you know? Like, so to get mad at these kids for having high emotions after a huge loss,
Yeah.
or these young adults, student athletes, whatever you want to call them these days.
Mm-hmm.
It's just it's an unfair standard to hold them to. I think, really. I mean,
I agree.
you have to give them grace. You just have to.
I agree.
You know.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, no one died. So what are we talking about? Why is it an issue with anybody?
So they cussed a little.
They cussed.
Okay.
And they didn't want you to ask a question.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to answer it either.
I mean, whatever. Anyway.
Yeah.
So on happier notes, Ryan Day won a national title.
Good job, dude.
Talk about, man, that guy was under pressure. I mean, holy crap. I mean, people
Talk
were
about
like,
highs and lows in one season.
I mean, goodness gracious, they're like, this, he's going to get fired for losing to Michigan and all that. And, is he going to be the coach next year and all this? And what do? Instead, they go off and win 4 games in the playoffs, including the national championship game. And, some interesting stuff was like leaking in the last month. It had been 50 or 51 days since they lost to Michigan up until the day they won the national championship. And so they lose to Michigan, their chief rival, for a 4th straight year. They still get in the playoff. Fans are upset. They better win a national title or we won't be happy. And so his family, and I should say Ryan Day, was getting death threats from people. Who
Insane.
knows? And apparently, reportedly, I didn't know this, but The Athletic reported this, that they had around-the-clock security at their home because they've got 3 kids. Obviously, he's got a wife, Christina. And so they're having to, hunker down their house for a freaking month because they're scared.
Ridiculous.
So I wrote a story about that the morning after the game, because the morning after the game they have another press conference, kind of like putting a bow tie on everything, a bow on everything.
Yeah.
And it's Ryan Day and the 2 MVPs, Will Howard and Cody Simon. And Ryan Day, my colleague Dennis Dodd of CBS Sports came up to me and goes, "That's probably one of the better day after press conferences I've ever been to, because usually they're a wash and they're pointless because they're all hungover from celebrating.
Sure.
It's 8 or 9 in the morning.
They definitely don't want to be
They
there.
definitely don't want to be there.
Yeah.
In fact, one of the players said that you sleep us for the week. We can sleep on the plane. They hadn't slept yet. But Ryan Day
to be young again.
yeah, but Ryan Day opened up quite a bit about the pressures of the job and everything he went to. And I wrote a story about it, and didn't realize this till I went back and watched an old ESPN piece from 3 or 4 years ago on Ryan Day, because Ryan Day's a big mental health advocate.
Yeah.
Started up his own fund and all that, him and his wife. And the reason for that is because when he was 8 years old, his father committed suicide. And then I didn't realize this. I saw in that piece that the day was January 20th, 1988.
Oh, my gosh.
That's January 20th, the same day as the national championship game, and they won it.
Oh, my gosh.
So can you imagine the emotions he's going through?
Yeah, no.
But I loved his story about, all that stuff about how he's a kid, and I can relate with it because I didn't grow up with a father and all that stuff, and how he would, go around, kids would make fun of him for not having a father. But not only that, but, your father is dead, and he's, good gosh. And he said, I use that as motivation. It's like, yeah, I might not have a dad, I think his quote was, but I'll beat you on the field and all that stuff. Like, good gosh.
Ooh.
Can you imagine going through that? So, but he talked a lot. Like every message you hear him deliver after a loss, including that Michigan game, is always about like handling adversity and mental health and all this. And he even said in the press conference, because I hope that win, like it shows some people that like no matter what you're going through, that maybe you can get through it. But also I hope this makes some people happy, gives them something positive in their life.
Yeah.
If they're an Ohio State fan, if they're going through something. Because a lot of us, sports is a avenue to let all our frustrations out. So why we go to games and yell and all that stuff. Everybody's letting stress out.
Yeah.
And some people could take it over the line, as we've seen with these alleged death threats that Ryan Day was handling, and had to have around the clock security.
That is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
Uncalled for.
Yeah. But it was an interesting thing he said. It's like a reporter asked him, goes, now how do you feel that there'll be less pressure going into next season that he won a national title? And he I know he was joking, but he wasn't he was half joking. He says, well, what if I lose the first game? Then that's the thing. It's like a vicious cycle. Just starts over and over and over again. And I believe their first game is against Texas. So it's just like, it's not like an easy game. It's like, oh, here's Texas.
Not
the
like
team
a cupcake. Yeah.
one of the probably top 4 teams in the country going into the next season. But that's the crazy thing about being a coach is like, I'm sure they're going to enjoy this for a few days, but he's already recruiting.
Back on the grind.
working,
Yeah.
all that stuff. Can you imagine? Biggest moment of your life as a professional. and
Biggest
then it's like,
accomplishment.
all right, gotta go
Yeah.
back home and work. Go back to
All
work.
right, honey. See you later. Bye, kids.
Yeah.
That's tough.
You got any thoughts?
I have thoughts. I don't know if I should say them.
What's that?
Well, I mean, because you deal with a lot of hate too, not as much as you used to. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I have thoughts on the fan hatred that is out there. People listening, if you've ever sent hateful emails to anybody, get your behavior in check because it's uncalled for, honestly.
Wow. Part of the job.
It is part of the job, but it shouldn't be. It really shouldn't.
Yeah.
It's upsetting.
Yeah.
And you deal with one iota probably of what the coaches deal with. I mean,
That's why they get paid the big bucks.
do you remember that time we had patrols at our house though?
Yeah.
In Auburn?
Once.
That was terrifying.
Yeah. We had someone put our address out.
Yeah.
It was weird. Yeah.
Anyway,
It is what it is.
if you send hateful emails to people over sports, I just want to say emails, DMs, whatever
There
the
you
kid
go.
whatever the
Tweets.
kids tweets, skeets, whatever you want to say. I just go talk to somebody. Come on.
But they're tweeting.
Well, talk to somebody
In
face
person,
to face on the telephone. Pick up
Yeah.
a telephone. It's wild. Like it's just not worth it.
Yeah.
There's so much hate in the world. Don't send it out there to somebody in sports.
Yep.
Come on.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Super cool. Great talk, guys.
All right. Well, congratulations to Ohio State.
Yeah, that's amazing. It's an amazing accomplishment.
Much deserved, and long time coming. It's only been 10 years, but I mean, still.
I do have a question
Mhm.
about the tally of wins for Ohio State. Ryan Day is the 5th coach at Ohio State to win a national title.
Right.
Is that that seems like a lot of coaches at one institution.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a lot, or is that kind of like
Yeah. I mean,
a
I don't know if it's a
normal-ish-
record or anything like that. That's their. Oh man, I'm probably wrong here. I think it's their 9th national title.
Well, I'm just talking about like coach tally.
Yeah,
Is
I
that
don't know. I don't know.
Is that a lot for one institution?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, certainly.
Names?
Not a lot of schools have 5 national titles, let alone.
Well, that's what I'm
like
getting
5
at. Like,
different coaches.
is that a? Can you think of any?
I'll have to research.
Do
that.
some research and get back to
I'll do
me.
some
I'm
research.
interested.
Yeah, I could think maybe USC, Notre Dame, because Notre Dame had 3 third-year coaches win national titles,
Mhm.
and Marcus Freeman. Oh wait, two. They had 2 third-year coaches. Marcus Freeman would have been the 3rd.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to look into that. Good
Yeah.
question. That's a good
Get
question.
back to me on that.
Okay.
I thought that was interesting.
All right, now it's time for your favorite segment. I'm interested to hear what you have to say. What is this?
First in tea. I don't have a lot of tea this week
Oh,
because my dragon book came out. It's been just 24/7 dragons the whole time. Onyx Storm came out the day after the national championship. I've been consumed by the dragons. It's the 3rd book.
mm-hmm.
Do you have any questions for me about the dragon
So
book?
what's the biggest develop? Well, you can't give spoilers in case anybody's reading that. I guess I don't care, but
You should care.
What are the dragons
It's
doing?
important to me. They're on some side quests right now to find some lineage. Without giving a lot of the book away, I don't want to spoil anything. They're looking for some lineage for some of the dragons. That's been a mystery.
is there going to be like a hybrid dragon?
You know what?
I knew it.
You're on to
I
something.
knew it.
You're kind of
They're on
on.
a search for lineage. There's like some super dragon or something.
You're kind of on to something a little bit, maybe, perhaps. I don't know. But they're also looking for a cure for some evil stuff.
Is it like a virus or is it like a magic?
Yes, kind of both, actually. Believe it or not.
I need to write dragon books.
Could you write the 4th and 5th? Because I don't want to wait 2 to 4 years for each of these 4th and 5th books to come out. So could you just write some fanfic for me
No.
and get that ready? Are there any books coming up that you want to read? Because listen, no, seriously, because when we go to the beach, you usually sometimes you have a book.
I always bring a book and I end up not reading it because guess what I do? I sit on the beach
Consume.
and I drink and I just don't move. I'll get in the water when I get hot, jump back on the beach.
Well, like, okay, the last book that I can think of that you got really excited about was Project Hail Mary.
That was really good.
And you listened on Audible, didn't you?
Yeah, I listened to it. I didn't read it. I listened to it.
Okay, that is a very ableist take, and I will take you down for that ableist take.
I'm not.
Audiobooks, consuming a book by audio is still reading a book.
Oh, great. I
So
read a
you
lot
read-
of books in my life then.
Yes, it's still reading. So are there any books that you're interested in right now?
No, I'd have to look.
Yeah.
I guess maybe. There's probably
Did you ever
is.
read The Martian? Same author?
Yeah, I read that book before the movie came out.
Yeah.
And Project Project Hail Mary.
Yeah.
They're making a movie out of that with Ryan Gosling.
Oh, when's that
That's the
come
main
out?
character. I don't know. They've already filmed it, so I guess they're doing
Really?
post-production on it. Yeah, I can't wait to see that.
That'll be good.
Especially how he would fit in that character. He's
Now
kind
I'm
of
sad that I had you
a,
give
kind
me.
of a nerd.
I'm sad that I had you give me the rundown on that book.
Love that book.
But the good thing is,
Love it.
I have the memory of a goldfish, so most of the
so
main
good.
plot points are gone.
I don't know how it's filmable. I don't know how it's filmable.
AI? Do they
Project
do
Hail Mary.
that? Do they do that in movies? Will they do that in
AI?
movies? AI? I mean, special effects are different.
Sure,
but like
this is special
AI?
effect. Like the spoiler, the other character in the book is an alien, and it's like a rock. It's like a giant rock that has legs and stuff.
Okay.
How the heck are you going to do that? I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
interested to see it.
I'll watch it.
And also, it communicates through like weird humming noises.
But doesn't he figure out the language?
Yeah.
Cool.
I love that book so much. It's so good. I'm probably going to re-listen to it. The voice actor in that book was great too.
Who was it?
I don't remember the guy's name, but he does a bunch of books and also does a lot of voice acting. He's actually the voice of Darkseid in the Justice League movie, the Zack Snyder cut, which wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. And his voice sounds nothing like that. I mean, he's a voice actor, so he does a bunch of voices. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm interested in seeing it. So that's all you got? You've just been reading?
Yeah. I'm switching between the Kindle version and the audiobook version. I do have one problem with the audiobook version. The first two books I listened on Audible with the dramatized version, so they're like every character had their own voice actor, because I listened far enough after the release that they had time to do that. This one, it just came out Tuesday, so I got it on Audible right away. So it's just one narrator doing all the voices.
Oh.
I don't care for that.
Yeah. Are they changing their voice at all, though, at least?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's still a little weird.
Yeah,
Well,
it's a little
hey, it
weird.
was like that in Project Hail Mary, but the guy did a great job.
I mean, she's working hard. There's 70 characters. I don't know how many characters.
Yeah.
There's a ton of characters. Accents. She's doing dragon voices, which is, I mean,
Dragon voices? So
Well-
the dragons do talk,
they talk mind to mind.
but she's doing the
but
voice.
there's written, there's dialogue for mind to mind. So she does have to do dragon stuff, so she's putting in work in this audiobook, but it's just not the same as the dramatized version. I want the dramatized version to come out.
Okay.
Because in my head, I hear the dramatized voices, but that's not what is happening actually, and it's making me a little crazy. But it's still, I love the series. Listen, it's not everybody's cup of tea. People make fun of people for reading this stuff. That's another thing. Don't make fun of people for reading. Read what you want to read. Enjoy what you want to enjoy. Life is short. Do what you want to do within the law. Okay? Don't be
Mhm.
breaking any laws.
Mm-hmm.
Enjoy the entertainment you want to enjoy.
I agree.
Yeah.
We all have weird things. I mean, right behind Amanda is a cardboard cutout of RoboCop
Hey, Robo.
from RoboCop 2.
Yes, there's just one piece of RoboCop memorabilia in this
Just
room.
one. There's not like a whole room full of it.
There's just one.
Yeah. Custom made. South America. I had someone in South America make that for me. True story. I got it. But yeah, original stuff. That RoboCop 2 cardboard cutouts from 1990. Half of you don't even know what RoboCop is, but you can go sniff it out. Go look for it. Only go see the first one, though.
Yeah, the first one's good.
Yeah, first one's good. They're making a TV series now, apparently.
I liked the reboot too. When was that? It was okay.
2014, February 2014.
It was okay. I liked it.
11 years ago.
It was
My
fine.
goodness. It was okay. It was bland. Pissed me off.
Well, most people would probably find it fine.
Yeah. Just give me a good RoboCop TV series. That's fine. Better
Okay.
be good, though.
He's not asking for much, folks. Just a TV series.
Just keep me happy. Like, everything's getting reboots and, like,
Yeah, what happened to original IP?
it's not mineable. You know?
I guess.
Small movies are no more, really, other than a few, and they don't get released in theaters anymore. It's all streaming, and, it
Yeah.
just is what it is. But, you could do a modern day RoboCop so easily because of the the themes and man machine and soul, and the first movie was making fun of the 80s, Reaganomics and all the businessmen really doing where they can to get ahead, and
I'd buy that for $1.
yeah, and the cocaine and all that stuff, and
Yeah.
there's stuff they can do about the 2020s in there somehow. It'd be fun. But anyway,
I like it. Let's do
I
it.
like it too. I like it. That's from RoboCop as well. Okay.
Oh, I never realized that.
Yeah, Emil. I like it. When he's got the
That's
big
why
gun.
you say that all the time.
I do say that?
You say that all the time.
Okay. Well, I'll say a lot of things from RoboCop. No one knows. Okay.
All right.
That's an episode. Don't know when we're going to be back because college football's gone, but you've seen over my shoulder, there's like a bunch of games for next season, the first week. I noticed that.
When is the first week? Put it in the calendar.
It's, I think the first game, week 0 is now 212, 211 days away, something like that.
It's not long. We'll be back.
So long.
Try not
It's
to
so
be
long.
sad until then.
Well, I'll get a few
You're ready
weeks
for your
to quote,
crash
unquote,
out.
rest or whatever, then it's business season.
Mm.
Or no, wait, it's spring football. Then it's business season. Then it's talking season. And then it's preseason. And then it's the season.
Are they having their meetings in Destin this year?
Oh, yeah, I always do the SEC. It's not, I don't think they've changed it. I don't know. They've been there forever. I don't know if I'm going. I don't know if they're going to send me or not.
Oh, come on.
I hope so. We'll see. All right, that's it for this episode. Basic AF. Thanks for watching.